So this is the main character of part 4. I'm gonna show his name later because I need to explain some stuff with his name. But the name of the part is Diamond is Unbreakable. So, we're introduced to Jotaro in this part. He's older now, and he's actually a marine biologist. And he went to this small town in Japan called Morio. He's looking for this person named Higashikata Josuke. And while looking for this man, he bumps into this person whose name is Koichi. And it turns out that Koichi goes to the same school as Josuke, and this is like the first day of school. So Koichi hasn't actually met Josuke yet. So this is Higashikata Josuke. So in every single part, there is a side character that always mentions that, oh, your nickname could be Jojo because of whatever reason. Like Jonathan Joestar is Jojo, right? Joseph Joestar is also the same thing.
Yep.
For Jotaro, his name is Kujo Jotaro, so that's where the Jo comes from. But this guy's name is Higashikata Josuke. So where does the Jojo come from? We have one Joe. Where's the other Joe? So apparently this can be read as Joe.
Oh.
Okay. So it turns out Joseph actually cheated on his wife.
Okay, yeah.
He cheated with this woman whose name is Tomoko. And Tomoko's son is Josuke. And Joseph only recently found out that he had a son. That's why he sent Jotaro here to give Tomoko like child support money for the past 16 years. Alright, so Jotaro goes to the small town of Morio to find Josuke and Tomoko to give them child support money. And to tell Josuke who his dad is and stuff. Essentially, part 4, the first half, is just a slice of life. We just see the life of Josuke. So, Josuke, this guy, and Koichi, they become friends. And one day, while they were walking home from school, they get attacked by these two guys. The Nijimura brothers. So, it turns out this is an arrow that if it stabs you, you get a stand. But, as I said before, families have like the spiritual connection. So because Dio was in Jonathan's body, and Jonathan's body got stabbed with the arrow, everyone with the Joestar bloodline got a stand. So this guy is the dad of the Nijimura brothers, and he was infected with Dio's flesh bud, but it wasn't removed. But Dio's dead now. So what happened? So the flesh bud got out of control and it mutated a perfectly normal human into this thing. This guy, who is the older brother, he doesn't want his dad to suffer. So he's looking for people who has a stand that is able to kill his dad. So he decides to stab a bunch of people with the arrow. One of them is Koichi. He gets stabbed, and this is the stand that he gets. It's an egg.
An egg. Okay.
Yes. At this point, it's just an egg. It literally can't do anything.
It will hatch at some point, I assume.
It'll hatch. But after doing some talking, they decided that, oh, instead of trying to kill my dad, I'm gonna find a stand user that is able to cure my dad. But that's where this guy pops in. Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know that band?
Yep.
This guy's power is that he's able to like control electricity, and he can also turn into electricity. So he travels through like electric wires and stuff.
That's the stand.
The stand, yes. This guy decides to kill this guy, and he steals the arrow. So now the current goal is to get the arrow back from this enemy. And eventually, the egg hatches into this thing, and its power is that it creates onomatopoeias. I guess not only onomatopoeias, but any sound effect. So for example, if the user yells, "Believe in me," the words "believe in me" will be imprinted on, let's say, your body, and you will constantly hear the words "believe in me." And that's the only thing he can do.
So it just annoys people?
It just annoys the shit out of people. And eventually, Koichi, who is the person who has the stand, meets this girl. This girl kidnaps Koichi. And after going through a battle, his stand actually evolves. That's why in this one, it's Act 1. Where this time, whatever sound effect he says, it actually becomes real. So one of the examples was that she was falling off a cliff, and she was about to get hit by like a rock spike. But because he used his powers, the rock became like bouncy and springy, so that she bounced off the rock and made it safely back on land. This is also one of the stand users that shows up in the part. So her ability is that she is able to enhance someone's body, and she does this by like swapping body parts.
So that's just surgery. Okay.
Yes, I guess. Yes, it is just magic surgery. So eventually, um, in order to track Red Hot Chili Peppers, who is able to travel between electric wires, they
Mm.
decided to call for Joseph, who is at this point is 90 years old. He's a senile old man. They say that because his stand manifests as like a plant, the plant will be able to travel through electric wires to see where the enemy is. And eventually they beat the enemy and they get the stand arrow back. Alright, so this is one of the recurring characters of part 4. His name is Kishibe Rohan. And he's a manga artist. And his stand is named Heaven's Door. It turns people into books. Like he can like peel off your skin and there's like pages on them. It contains every information about you. And he can actually write in the book.
And that affects like the person.
Yes. So for example, he can write, "You will never attack me." And this person will be physically unable to attack him until the writing is removed. So anyway, moving on. There's a ghost alley in Morio, and if you enter it, you'll be stuck in a constant loop of corners unless you remember the exact route you came in. And if you look behind you, you will die. And there's this ghost who's just chilling there. So it turns out she was killed by a serial killer. And we want to help find her serial killer so that she can rest in peace. And this guy's name is Shigekio. He doesn't matter. He's gonna die. This is the serial killer. His name is Yoshikage Kira. Is there anything you want to ask about this image?
Oh, there's a hand.
There's a hand, yes.
Holding a hand. I mean, hand holding a bread sausage. I don't know.
So
Hot dog.
this guy has a hand fetish. So he kills countless women just to get their hand. So what he likes to do is that he goes to a bread shop and he buys bread. And then he eats the bread like with this dismembered hand. Just by pure coincidence, this guy and this guy ran into each other. And they were both at the same bakery, but because they ran into each other, they picked up the wrong bag. So this guy picks up a cardboard bag that's filled with a dismembered hand. And he figures out that he has his hand. So he just kills him.
That's it.
And that's it. And that's all you need to know. This guy's friends with Josuke, who's our main character. This guy's stand is called Killer Queen. And that's our Queen reference. We actually get another Queen reference with the same stand. So his power is that he can turn things or people into bombs.
Bombs, okay.
So when Killer Queen touches this guy actually turns into a bomb. And he is able to manually detonate the bomb. But it's not a physical explosion. There is no noise. But you feel the pain of being exploded from the inside out.
So like what would happen like if an object were to explode? It would just like an object can't feel the pain of being exploded.
What happens is that whatever the object comes in contact to, it also becomes a part of the bomb. For example, this guy turns a button into a bomb, and you're holding the button. You're now part of the button. So if he explodes the button, you also explode. Yeah, and he just dies.
I thought he said the explosion wasn't physical.
Oh, it is not physical.
That looks physical.
It just looks physical. So, because he was friends with the guy that just died, he wants to find out who killed my friend.
Yeah.
And somehow they find this guy's old house. And inside the house is a ghost. This is actually the serial killer's dad. Even though he's a ghost, he's able to interact with the mortal plane. And he actually steals the stand arrow. And he makes a bunch of stand users in Morio to fight against the squad, to prevent his son from getting found out by these guys. Somehow, Killer Queen unlocks a new ability, which is called Sheer Heart Attack.
I forget if like Heart Attack is also a name of a band.
I think it's the name of a Queen song.
Or yeah, I'm just forgetting. Not sure which one. Yeah. Continue on.
So Sheer Heart Attack is actually this thing. It is considered Killer Queen's left arm, and it is indestructible. And its power is that it will chase out its target until it dies.
Like it'll just like ram into the target until it's dead.
No, it shoots out bombs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it shoots out physical bombs, I think. But because it is indestructible, it can't really identify what the target is. It identifies the target by heat.
Signature?
Yes, a heat signature. So let's say there's 3 people. It actually doesn't know which one's the target. It just attacks the hottest one.
So you can't actually target anything. Like it just targets the hottest one.
But you can like send it to a general area. And it targets objects that have the same or higher temperature as a human.
Okay, yeah.
So Koichi's power was that he can turn sound effects real, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he just says sizzle, and like a heat thing appears on itself. So he just like walks in a circle because it's chasing itself. And I'm pretty sure I never explained our main character's power.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
I don't have a slide for it. What the hell? Man, okay, I don't even have a slide. This
Mm.
guy's stand is called Crazy Diamond. His power is similar to Jotaro, where he can punch really fast, but he can choose to fix whatever object that he punches.
What do you mean by fix? Like literally fix?
Literally fix. Like, let's say there's a broken door in your house. If he
And you
punches that broken door, he can fix it.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And because sheer heart attack is technically a part of this guy's left hand,
Mm-hmm.
if he punches sheer heart attack, it will attempt to fix sheer heart attack, so it'll return to Killer Queen.
Ooh. Okay. Uh-huh.
And this guy was being cornered because now this guy and Josuke knows about his real identity. So by complete coincidence, this person, this man, goes into this person's shop. She's a beautician. She owns like a salon or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she forced her to give him a new face
Mm-hmm.
because she can swap body parts, right? So
Yeah.
she swapped his face with another person. So now he looks like this. And he also assumes a new identity. He's assuming the role of this kid's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this kid's family, it's not the best family. His mom and his dad don't love each other very much.
Mm-hmm.
And what he decides to do is that he decides to install cameras all around his house and just watches the recording. And based from those recordings, he has deduced that this man is no longer his father. And he also finds out that he knows and he can't really kill his own kid.
Is the manga writer ever gonna be mentioned again?
Yes. So, you know how I'm just like mentioning like all these random characters?
Mm-hmm.
They show up for like 2 episodes, they completely disappear, and once it's near the ending, they just come back. This really is a slice of life anime where not much happens until the second half. At this guy's household, there's a cat in the basement, and this cat was hit by the stand arrow by the serial killer's dad. So this cat has a stand, and this cat was attacking this guy's wife. And so, the serial killer kills the cat and buries the cat in their garden. So, the cat didn't actually die. The cat turned into a plant.
Okay.
And it still kept its stand power. So its stand power is that it's able to compress air and shoot it. But it's a plant now. And it's able to like control the shape of the air and stuff. And halfway through, he gets stabbed with the stand arrow again. So his stand unlocks another ability.
Wait, then can you just stab yourself constantly?
Technically, you can only stab yourself once. Because that's like, if you stab yourself twice, that's when the true potential of your stand is unlocked. His third ability is called Bites the Dust.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the power is that he is able to designate someone as a bomb. And if anyone were to find out who his real identity is, the bomb will explode and time will rewind. Let's say it's August 1 right now, and you find out my identity at 10 a.m. The bomb will explode and time will rewind to August 1. And if I change my actions and I don't meet you, you don't know my identity. But because you found out my identity at 10 a.m. previously, now you will die at 10 a.m.
So you're saying this kid went through like a time loop multiple times, right?
Yes. The only person who keeps their memories is the bomb. Like, this guy actually doesn't know how many times time has rewound. Only this
Mhm.
kid knows.
Oh, so wait. Huh. This is super confusing. So no one else is the bomb, only this guy is.
Only this guy, yes.
And if someone else finds out, then this kid blows up.
Yes. It also blows up the person who finds out. And then time is rewound.
So it can only like rewind once, right?
No,
Because
multiple times.
because after it blows up once, then he can just change the action, and then like nothing, no further explosions will take place, right?
The one thing you need to firmly understand is that
Mm.
if you are someone who found out this person's identity and has blown up in a previous time, or
Mm.
alternate timeline, you will
Mm.
continue to explode at whenever you found this guy's identity.
Mhm.
So let's say in the first timeline, you found out my identity at 12 p.m. And no matter how many times time is rewound, no matter how many alternate timelines there are, at 12 p.m., you will always blow up, even if you don't find out the identity again. And time was rewound like four or five times. And what he did was, he woke up at 6 a.m., and he called our main character to come over to his house.
Mm.
Because the main character wasn't affected by any previous explosion, so he's safe.
Okay.
The only person that was affected was the mangaka and Jotaro. And for some reason, Killer Queen can absorb the cap into his stomach.
Mm.
So the cat's power is to shoot compressed air. Killer Queen turns the compressed air into a bomb. So now he can shoot invisible bombs. And with the help of literally every stand user that they know, they get the serial killer injured enough. And then he gets run over by an ambulance and then they win. And that's the end of part 4.
Okay. Okay.
Part 4 is when people said JoJo gets good, but I really hate it because nothing happens. The moment the main characters figure out the serial killer's real identity, the dad decides to make a bunch of stand users that they now have to fight, which has no bearing on the plot whatsoever. But honestly, it's still pretty good. It's like a 7 out of 10. I hope you understand part 4, because I feel like I did a pretty bad job of explaining it
Yeah, part 4 is the kind of the most confusing one so far.
so far.